What's up, agency owners? Jason Swenk here. I'm excited to have another amazing episode for you. We're going to talk about how a PR agency is really morphing to an experience agency. And even if you're not a PR agency, you're going to benefit from this episode. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, Julie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jason. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on. So tell us who you are and what do you do?
So I'm Julia Smith. I'm the founder and MD of a B2B PR agency called The Digital Voice.
Awesome. And how long have you been doing your agency?
Well, do you know what? I suddenly realized that I'd just gone over a quarter of a century last year in working in digital advertising, but I set it, which is shocking in itself, but I set up The Digital Voice. It's going to be 10 years next June since I set it up.
Wow, congrats. And how did you get started by starting your own agency? I always like to know the origin story.
Yeah, well, do you know, it's strange because actually the name of the company is based upon about 11, 12 years ago. I was working for a company and they couldn't think of what to call what I did. And we settled on The Voice because almost that's what I was for them. I was the voice, the mouthpiece of their business. And did everything for them, from represent them on stage, in the press, and I was their mouthpiece in sales and throughout all their business. And that's when I then, a year later, decided it was time to set up on my own. And so The Digital Voice was born. It's kind of how a lot of people know me as the voice in this industry. It probably stems from the fact I have a very big mouth as well.
Awesome. And what how has your agency changed over the years?
Do you know what? It's been a complete change every year, but more so in the last 18 months that we've had to, as everybody has had to, is evolve their businesses. And I think it's had strangely a hugely positive impact for us and for our clients. It made us stop. It made us think a little bit more about how we can use every platform possible, and we had to stop being so reliant on networking events, standing on stage, getting our clients speaking slots, being able to set up wine and dine and networking physical events. And you actually took a step back and went, hang on a sec, we can make this complete an experience in everything that we do and on every platform. And they've ended up, as a company, we went from being sort of, I think 10 years ago would just have been about content. It would have been about press and content. And every year it's added on more and more. And this year I was thinking about, before coming on here, Jason, and thinking, what do we do? And it's actually press, content, thought leadership, SEO, social media, newsjacking, virtual experience, speaking, awards, it's everything. And it becomes very much of the voice, being the voice for clients in the new way of communicating. So big changes.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also tell me, because this our industry is really there's a ton of kind of male owners. And there's far fewer, woman-owned agencies. Why do you think that? And tell us a little bit more about that because I always love having women on the show because I'm like, oh, another woman. This is awesome.
But you know what's strange you say that, because I know quite a lot of female owners of agencies actually over here, of PR agencies. And luckily, I'm lucky enough to be co-founder of Digital Leading Ladies, and I'm a member of Bloom. We're all of these different organizations. So I kind of don't see it. I see a lot of women actually running their own companies. I'll tell you why. It's a massive benefit. I did it 11 years ago because I had young children, and it enabled me to work the hours I wanted to work. And I still work strange hours that I do 6:30 a.m. till 4, because at 4 o'clock, my children, who are now teenagers, they walk in the door then. And my rule was that they don't really need me, but should they need me, I can open that door and I can be there for them after that. So running your own company actually gives you complete flexibility to choose how you work and what you work. Interestingly enough, we were a team of 9 out of 10 women. We've now changed it. We've got 3 and 7 now. And so my head of content, Adam, was delighted. He was like, thank goodness. He was getting so outnumbered. But to my mind, I'm still one of those believers that it's about who does the job right and nothing more. And I don't think it should even be, I don't see it or feel, I've never felt in any way that I've missed out or been treated unfairly for being a female. I actually feel quite positive, and I've had, I believe, quite a positive experience. And it's what you make it. It's how, if you don't make it into too much of an issue, and you're strong in what you do and what you say, and you're reviewed based on what you deliver.
Yep, exactly, and that's how it should be.
Yes.
Tell us about kind of the transition from the agency to delivering more of an experience.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. So I describe it like this. So I was saying to my clients, we get them, we ended up last year investing in a virtual experience platform called Remo, and I love it. It's fantastic because what it did was we create virtual experiences, and it is just that, it's an experience. You can do live, you can bring people up on stage, you can do live voting and polls, but it goes to, we have 3D networking floors where you actually mix and mingle in bar rooftop lounges, or we've done campfire settings, we did loads of Christmas parties. And what we always describe, that's one part. So you create an experience. But then we also said to our clients, look, everything you do needs to be off of one thing. So say you speak at an event, that's an experience. But let's go further. How do we take that experience and keep the engagement going on social media? You take snippets of that video of you speaking and you pop it onto your social, but you then do a poll saying, I've got 3 other topics that are going to be talked about. Which one do you want to vote on that comes up next? You take comments in Newsjack. You then write a news story based on what I said at that event or what the client said. You then take it into a thought leadership piece, and then you do Q&As, and then you do podcasts with Jason Swenk. And all of it is kind of building up, going, it becomes it's not so two-dimensional then, is it? Everything is about the experience. How do you feel? How does the audience feel? How much engagement? That's the experience. How are we engaging? And can we make it into more of an experience?
I love that. I love creating things in an experience, and I want to take a brief 20 seconds to have a mastermind member come on and tell you about the digital agency experience, which you kind of set it up pretty well. So let's go ahead and hear what Justin has to say real quick.
I was just talking to one of the other members a little bit ago, and I was like, this event is absolutely incredible. And I've been to a lot of events, and I think I have like 19 pages something of notes, and we're only part of the way through day 2. And I came at it with no agenda, but I came at it because we get holed up in our little bubbles. We go through the grind, we're in the office every day, or we're working with our employees, we're working with our clients. And I really just wanted to be with a group of people that have been there and done that can speak the same language, have some of the similar problems that I have. And I have found that to be the case. Meeting a lot of great new friends now, and making a lot of great connections, and learning a whole heck of a lot that I'm going to take back. In fact, I've been messaging my business partner nonstop, like, hey, this is like, it's go time when we get back, because I've got a lot of good things.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Justin. And if you guys are interested in more of the digital agency experience, go to digitalagencyexperience.com and check it out. All right, let's get back to you, Julia, and talking more about what are some of the things that you wish you knew about 5 years ago that would benefit you in your agency now, today?
Oh, I wish I knew more about measurement. It's really boring, but vanity metrics meant everything 5 years ago. That's how we were perceived, and I didn't have the confidence then to go, it doesn't have to be that you've got to be seen in the big titles, and obviously in the US you've got the Bloombergs and the CNNs and the Forbes, and they're great. But what I wish I knew is had the confidence to go, in the same way that I work with advertising companies, and they're trying to always say, we're all about targeting. We can take your brand and we can target the exact user at the right time, right place. That should follow through in PR. that we now work with titles that are so wide ranging, and we don't care as necessarily on their huge reach. It's about who they are they right for the message, what are you trying to say and who are you saying it to, and then match that up, and then make it count and make it measure and make it show that the value is there. And it's not all about the scale and the reach. And I wish I'd had the confidence to do that, because I think you get that imposter syndrome when you're not appearing in those big titles. And for a lot of our clients, we work with ad tech and martech companies predominantly. We love working with startups. That two of our clients have been, one of them's been with me 7.5 years. They went from a smaller company and they're about to IPO next year. Another company has been with me 3 years. They were a startup. They're about to IPO next year. I love those companies. Now, for them, they're startups. They were never going to get into those big mainstream titles. But what we have the confidence now to do, and they love it and they get it, is that it's about what you're saying and the audience that's behind that. And the same goes with social. It doesn't matter if it's not about how many followers you necessarily gain. It's who those followers are and how engaging they are and what your percentage of engagement. Wish I'd known that. Would have saved me a lot of heartache.
I know. I think there's a lot of us that have that imposter syndrome, right? It's kind of like, and we look at the wrong metrics and we look at those vanity metrics, I mean, look, if you looked at some of the early, I always tell agencies, you need to be creating content, and really building your brand. And a lot of times for the first couple of years, they get discouraged. They're like, only 100 people checked it out. What if they were the perfect 100 clients for you?
100%. We always say this, and it's you just go, it only takes one, it needs just one person to have actually responded and go pick up the phone and make that sale, for a lot of these companies. And that's what we enable in going, actually, let's look and see how it worked and how it responded. I also try and explain to people, it's about the mix. With anything, it's trying different things, see what works, see what fits. In the same way you do within your day-to-day life of trying on clothes, you then find what fits and what works. The main message I always say is, be loud, be brave, be you. Do not try and change. Do not try and be like somebody else. It will ultimately fail. And especially for agencies who are looking at with trying to advise their brands, those that can be consistent in their tone, in their message, and ultimately make it resonate. It makes it far easier for the whole company to get behind you when you're going, oh, I get it. That's who we are. That's what we do. Be loud, be brave, be you. It's kind of my big mantra that I try and bang that drum about.
I love it. What's if people want to know more and check out the agency, where can they go?
So then go to thedigitalvoice.co.uk or check us out on LinkedIn. So what we do, we almost use our LinkedIn, The Digital Voice, as our run book, and you can see all the different pieces of content from our brilliant clients, or link in with me, Julia Smith. I'd be delighted to meet with them as well.
Well, awesome. Well, Julia, thanks so much for coming on the show. You rocked it. Thanks so much. Make sure you guys go check out the website. And if you guys want to come to our next digital agency experience, I want you guys to go to digitalagencyexperience.com and apply, and maybe you'll be with us at the next experience. Until next time, have a swank day.